If you have a son or a grandson that is just about to or has just entered his teens, then this next interview is for you. You may have noticed that sweet little guy that you would like to hold his hand and snuggle up, well, he's a changin'. Now he's more focused on video games, friends, pizza, sports. But he's also changing on the inside and also has some deep thoughts and concerns lurking on the inside. Now we're going to explore some of those concerns with Heather Larson. Heather and her husband Peter have written a book called He's Almost a Teenager, along with David and Claudia Arp. Heather is a Christian life coach and has a master's degree in psychology, and she joins us from Minnesota. Heather, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, your book offers 8 different topics of conversation. When you have a son, all those things. We'll talk about some of those in a moment. But how about having that conversation with the little guy who's not such a little guy anymore, and to have a balanced life? How do you manage that?
Right. Well, the idea is that we really want to get parents to be prepared and ready for these teen years and get on the same page together, but also get excited with your son about these teen years. There's so much out there for the young kids or elementary age kids and parenting, but how do we get excited and how do we start including our son in the great idea of these teen years and all the exciting things that they can look forward to?
Well, there's certainly interesting years. I have 4 children. They've all gone past the teen years. You have 3 teenage children. Is that correct?
I do. 16, 15, and 13. So we're in the thick of it.
So I know that when we went through the teen years with our son and then our oldest daughter, we had a little bit of knowledge for the second 2. But for the first timers, what kind of advice can you give?
One of the things that we want to encourage parents is to be ready as parents to get on the same page. The book kind of has, like you said, these 8 different topics, so we can think about some of the big topics we know are about to come down the road. We can get on the same page. And then one of the things I think is really powerful is to empower your son and let him know that you're excited, you're looking forward to these teen years, and that they're going to be good, sort of predicting a good outcome for these years versus sort of coming into them with fear and trepidation and uncertainty.
Well, I think a lot of parents do as well. I mean, one of the key things, of course, is balance and social media. How do you counsel towards that, Heather?
Yeah, well, some of the different things we really want to encourage parents to think about is the big picture, the idea that we want to launch independent, godly young men into this world. And so we want to use these teen years while they're still in our home to help them make good decisions. The phone's not going anywhere. They're going to go off to college with their phone. So instead of saying we're going to clamp down on the phone and monitor it and regiment how often you can be on it, let's encourage you to figure out how to be a good user of your phone, how to be wise with the choices that you're spending, where you're going on your phone, who you're talking with, how you're talking, how much time you're on your phone, helping create some goals and things along the way so that your son, when he grows up and is off on his own, he's using his phone wisely.
And I think the key point there you're making is we parent by encouraging rather than being like freaking out. Okay, we've only got just a couple of minutes.
Yes.
I want to hit some of them here. Faith talk. How do we help our teenage boys have a good relationship with Jesus and so that others could see Christ in them?
Well, the key here is that we want to encourage our teen sons to own their own faith. No longer can they borrow our faith. And so we want to equip them, encourage them to be exploring that relationship with the Lord and to be asking some of those questions that are part of their developmental experience. It's normal to have questions. Let's find some good, godly young men that can pour into their life or be open to have those dialogues with us as parents so that we can encourage them, again, to own their own faith.
The biggie, girl talk.
Yes.
How do we handle that?
How do we handle that? Well, part of it is really encouraging your son to think about what is dating for, right? We don't put in these rules of this is when you can date, you have to be this old or blah, blah, blah. But what is dating about? What's it for? And what is it that you want to discover about yourself? And what is the purpose? And encouraging to have those dialogues and to understand the idea of purity because of the beauty of what it is in our marriage versus to be afraid of it. So how do we encourage our sons to make good choices because they see the benefit versus because they're being controlled or told no or afraid, things like that.
30 seconds, money talk. We have to talk.
Yes.
Getting a job, is that one of the ways maybe for these young fellas to understand what money's all about?
Right, and to learn how to manage the money. So they need to make some money in order to learn how to manage their money, how to spend, how to save, how to give. They've got to learn to be good stewards of the money that they make and having expectations. What are they going to be responsible for? Do they pay for insurance? Do they pay for gas? Do they pay for college? So that they have that expectation during these teen years as well.
Well, thank you very much. I wish we had more time. I encourage people to get the book because I think, I know when I went through this time when my wife and I with our son as he was getting ready to be a teen, there just wasn't as much information as there is now. Heather, thank you for the book.
Yeah.